They say children will care for you when you're old, but I've learned that some only remember what they can take. I'm Ingrid Marshall, born in 1956 in Newcastle, New South Wales. Back in 2023, I stood in my own kitchen, in a home I'd lived in for 34 years, and my only son, Callum, looked me in the eyes and said, "Leave or I'll call the police." I felt numb, betrayed, like the air had been kicked out of me. But then something happened, something life-changing. Today, at 68, living under warm Florida skies, I'm finally sharing this because so many older women out there feel stuck, invisible, used. If you're listening, drop your location below and don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share with someone who needs to hear this. My mornings in Falls Church used to be soft and slow. I'd sip Earl Grey in the sunroom, listening to kookaburras sing from memory. Old habits die hard. The way the light poured over the windows reminded me of my late husband, Alan, who spent his last decade building this home into a haven for both of us. After he passed, I had my independence. I had space. I had peace. Until Callum started coming around more. It began innocently. He and his wife Amelia had just had their third baby and were stretched thin. "Mom, could you pick up Noah from school just this once?" became, "Mom, can you watch the kids this weekend? And then, you don't mind staying overnight, do you?" It escalated so gradually, like steam rising in a pot I didn't realize was boiling me alive. Callum was a chief information officer at a fast-rising tech firm in Washington, D.C., and Amelia ran a wellness studio that looked picture-perfect on Instagram. They had money, prestige, but not time for their children. That responsibility quietly slipped onto my shoulders. I love my grandchildren truly, but the line between helping and being taken advantage of blurred fast. I wasn't a free nanny. I was their mother. I had raised my son with love. I hadn't expected to be treated like staff in return. The real blow came during one Sunday brunch. Callum arrived with printed folders. "It's a win-win, Mum," he began, sliding one across the table. "We found a 6-bedroom in Reston. Gorgeous, move-in ready. All we need is the down payment, and your house would cover it. Plus, we've scouted a lovely retirement community in Alexandria for your pool, group activities. They even have bridge nights." He smiled like this was a gift. I stared at the paper in silence. The home he spoke of was mine. The one where Alan and I raised Callum. Where I held him through chickenpox, breakups, where we planted that lemon tree out back the summer of '91. And now he wanted me to give it up so he could have an en-suite spa tub and a theater room? "No," I said quietly. "I'm not selling." His expression soured. Amelia looked at her cutlery like she wasn't part of the conversation. "Mum, don't be selfish," Callum said. "You have more space than you need. And we're offering you comfort and safety." "I already have comfort," I replied, folding the folder shut. "And I don't need you to decide what safe looks like for me." That was when the slow collapse began. Calls turned cold. Texts short. Visits are rare. And when they did come, they were laced with tension. One night after I refused to take the kids last minute because I had a pottery class, they dropped them off anyway and left before I could stop them. The disrespect grew claws. But the lowest moment came 3 months later. It was raining. I'd just brought in the last of the clothes from the line. Callum barged in unannounced with Amelia and a man in a blazer holding a clipboard. "A social worker. She refuses help," Callum told him. "We're worried about her competence." I stood there, socks still wet, staring at my son as if I didn't know him. "I'm not incompetent," I said slowly. "You left the gas on, Mum." "Twice." "I turned it off both times," I snapped. "You're exaggerating. Why do you resist moving? Do you enjoy being alone?" His voice was harsh, accusing. "I enjoy peace," I said, "which I never have with you around." The argument boiled over. I told them all to get out. Callum stepped closer, his voice ice. "Leave or I'll call the police." So I left. Not the house, but the idea of waiting for their love. I sat in my room that night, tears sliding down like old wallpaper peeling. And then I opened my laptop. I Googled, "How to sell your house without family interference." Kyle Radcliffe was the first realtor to pop up. He looked like someone who surfed at dawn and wore button-downs in pastel. I called him the next morning. He was kind. Didn't flinch when I explained I needed everything quiet. Discreet. I can do that, he said. This house has a valuable history. Let's find someone who respects it. While Callum thought I was wilting in confusion, I was packing boxes in secret. Slowly. Thoughtfully. I gave my piano to a retired music teacher down the road. I wrapped Alan's medals in velvet cloth and mailed them to the War Memorial in Canberra. I kept only what I loved, what told my story. Eloise, my oldest friend who'd retired to Sarasota 2 years earlier, called one night and told me they had a unit available down the block from hers. It's quiet, sunny, full of widows who refuse to shrink, she said. I laughed. For the first time in months, I genuinely laughed. On the final day, Cal arrived early. The buyers were young, newlyweds from Vermont. They walked the halls with reverence. Feels like a home, the wife whispered. That's all I needed. I signed the papers. That night, I sent Callum a message. You told me to leave. I have. The house is sold. I'm moving to Florida. I hope one day you understand why. He didn't reply. I didn't expect him to. The drive to Florida felt like peeling off layers of an old identity. As I passed through each state, I imagined bits of disappointment, guilt, and exhaustion falling away behind me. By the time I crossed into Sarasota, the ocean breeze felt like a warm handshake. Eloise met me at my new place, a soft yellow cottage with white shutters and a porch swing, and said, "Welcome to your new life, darling." I hugged her tightly, feeling more seen in that moment than I had in years. Life here was slow, vibrant, and oddly invigorating. The days were filled with aqua aerobics, laughter over iced tea, long walks, and book clubs that turned into gossip circles. No one called me Mum, with a list of chores hiding behind it. I was just Ingrid again. Me. Whole. Untethered. I sent postcards to the grandchildren, hoping at least one would reach them. I never got a reply. A month passed. Then another. One Saturday morning, as I was arranging sunflowers in a vase, my mobile buzzed with a call from a strange number. I answered. Nana. My breath caught. Sophie? Hi, I used my friend's phone. Dad said we weren't allowed to talk to you anymore. Why? Because you abandoned us. My chest tightened. Darling, I didn't abandon you. I just needed to be treated with respect. I love you very much. I miss you. I miss you more. Before she could say more, I heard Amelia's voice in the background yelling, Sophie, what are you doing? Then the line went dead. I sat down slowly, my heart both soaring and sinking at once. They'd forbidden my own grandchildren from speaking to me. That was Callum's revenge. And somehow I understood it. He had lost control, and some people punish with silence. But I didn't break. Instead, I poured that sadness into purpose. I volunteered at the local library. Started teaching a memoir writing class for older women. We called ourselves the Phoenix Sisters. We met weekly, and I listened to their stories of abandonment, second chances, survival. They reminded me that my pain wasn't rare. It was real, but it wasn't the end. 6 months after the move, on a mild December afternoon, I got another call. This time, it was Callum. His voice was hesitant, tight. Hi, Mum. I sat down. Hello, Callum. I wanted to let you know that we might be in Florida around Christmas. Amelia's sister has a beach house in Naples. A pause. I see. I thought maybe we could stop by. Why? I asked, without malice. He sighed. Because I miss you. The kids miss you. Sophie hasn't stopped talking about you. I let the silence hang, not out of cruelty, but clarity. You said you'd call the police on me, Callum. I didn't mean it, he said too fast. I was angry. You tried to take my home, I said. You acted like I was a burden. I became an option you could use up and move. I know, he whispered. And I hate myself for it. That surprised me. Not the apology. Those are easy, but the weight in his voice. The vulnerability. The smallness. He had never sounded like that before. I'm open to seeing you, I said. But understand this, I don't owe you my peace anymore. If you want to be part of my life, you have to respect me. No conditions. I understand. Good. Christmas came. They arrived, gifts in hand, unsure of their welcome. Sophie ran straight into my arms. Noah hung back, but eventually sat beside me on the swing. Amelia was cordial but distant. That was fine. We spent 2 days together. There were awkward silences, little moments of warmth, cautious laughter. Callum helped me trim the garden, his hands quieter than his mouth. Last night, he said, "You seem happy here." I am. I can see that now. He looked out at the sea, then back at me. I was wrong. And for the first time, I believed he truly meant it. I don't know what the future holds between us. We're not healed, but we're no longer bleeding. Sometimes revenge isn't about payback. It's about reclaiming your place, your voice, your name. And mine is Ingrid. Not Mum, do this, not Mum, give us that. Just Ingrid. A woman who chose herself when everyone else wanted her small. So if you're out there listening, and you feel trapped by guilt, know this. It is not selfish to protect your peace. It is brave. It is necessary. And you deserve to live, not just survive on your own terms. If this story touched something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment where are you watching from, and what did you take from my story? Moral lesson. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for others is to choose yourself. When peace costs your voice, it's time to walk away and rebuild it stronger.